All right, let's lower some expectations. Just dial it down. All right. 2013. I was living in my dream home. 3x1, Karrinyup, built in 1962 in original condition. I want you to think retro lino across the floor, curling in the corners, bathroom tiles, the colour of baby blue, and kind of like glass red dome fittings. But you know what? Let's forget about the house. Let's talk about the star of the show. My block, 910 square metres, all bush. I want you to think about Jurassic Park with a hills hoist. Now, you know me, I don't like to brag. No, I won't. I'm not going to brag, stop it. All right, I had my own bush block in the heart of suburbia. I mean, it's awkward, but some people have to drive down south for 3 hours to get the kind of vibes I had. And so for my kids, Darby, Fraser and Charlotte, all they had to do, there they are, just open the back door, kids, yeah, DIY your own adventure, the great outdoors. See if you can lose yourself and get someone else to find you. Now, I had plans for the block. I had the pride of joy, the Aussie icon, the belga tree, the grass tree, the xanathoria. But mine, she was a monster. She had the most incredible spiky hair. It looked like she had eaten thousands of echidnas. Now, you've got to understand grass trees. They are slow growers. 1 centimetre here and 1 centimetre there. Mine, centuries old. Mine, 3 to 4 metres. But wait, mine, double trunked. Yeah, there's more. There's more. Mine, one arm with a triple header. Yeah. Hold on. The other arm, quadruple header. Yeah? Yeah. Now, I have camped up and down WA, and I have never found one bigger. It was bigger than Kathy Pitchers. It was bigger than Judy Storms. It was bigger than Ashley Butterfield's. You want to go to Treat Bushland? You want to go to Star Swamp? You ain't going to find another one bigger than that. And I challenge anyone to find a grass tree bigger than mine. Yeah? I had, and again, I don't like to brag. It's awkward, but I had the crown jewel of Karrinyup. Yep, and you want to sell that puppy? 20,000, easy on the open market. And what do you do, like with a specimen like that? Like, what's a girl to do? You burn it. Now, don't panic, everyone. Just like, it's a slow burn. Let it breathe. Yeah? A slow burn. Just like nature intended. A slow burn to reveal the sculptural beauty of the trunk that was covered in 2 metres of thick, dead fronds. And quite frankly, my baby had been in a corner for too long. It had been neglected, it had been unkept, and I saw the potential of my grass tree straight away. Just like Ben Lexon in The Wing-Keeled, it needed an Alan Bond manoeuvre to lift it up to be the hero piece of my garden. Yeah? Now, has anyone heard the phrase prior preparation prevents piss poor performance? Yeah. Thanking you. Right. So let's be clear. Kathy Pitcher and I, my friend and neighbour, we'd been talking about this project for just under a year. Now, we'd already done a proof of concept, if anyone wants to backchat me, a few months before with spectacular results. So we had every reason to go into this project with a high amount of confidence. Did we stop there? No, we did not. A few weeks before the burn, I called the City of Stirling. Hi, I'm just calling for a neighbour. I just need a clarification for a landscaping issue. The call was kind of abruptly ended when the City of Stirling asked me my name, or the neighbour's name and the address. Kathy had done her own research. He had called her friend in DFES. He'd simply said, "When you burn it, let me know so I am not on shift." I can back a trailer. We were still going. Now, there are 3 golden rules in the dark web of Perth gardening. 1, pick your day. 2, pick your season. And 3, pick your weather. So 12 years ago, August, Tuesday afternoon, sunny but not too hot, very still. I'm at home with the kids, working my ass off, quite frankly. The phone rings. Kathy doesn't say hello or hi or how are you. No. Get your shit ready. It's showtime. I don't say to her, what do you mean? I just put down the phone. I go, kids, you're in for a treat. Get ready. We got a spectacle happening. The bush block is going to be up there. So she said she'll be there in 30 minutes. Well, I went down to that garden shed. I got my ladder, I got my gardening clothes on, I got my garden hose ready. Kathy walks in, 30 minutes later, she had matches in one hand, firelighters in the other. I climb up the ladder, she's project manager downstairs. As I climb up, I'm talking maybe a little bit of crap. Do you know what, Kathy? Oh my God, you know Nicole from Mother's Group? Yeah, her husband Clay, he's a horticulturist, he came over. He said it was at least 400 years old. And you know what? Can you imagine that trunk when it's got none of that skirt on with fairy lights? Can you imagine how amazing it's going to look? Get ready for the soiree. Did anyone say bubbles? Right. And as we're doing that, we are placing the firelighters deep into the trunk of the grass tree. Nice and neat, evenly spaced. There's no panic. It's a pyrotechnical version of Better Homes and Gardens. I do remember a moment where we had a little kind of wry grin. We both had matches simultaneously and we ignited from the bottom up. We saw some action pretty quickly. What you might need to know is that fronds are highly flammable. Don't know if you know. Just saying. And I don't know if you know Macbeth. I did English literature, rah, rah, rah. It kind of looked like a witch's cauldron bubbling in a Macbeth scene. It started to kind of billow with dark, thick smoke from the bottom, and it just built and built into a column, and then ended up with a nuclear-type smoke cloud. Now, at this point, we did not voice concerns. Oh, no, we were straight. Yeah, we were confident. We had the eye on the prize. But I do recall, and Kathy, I do recall this. I said to Kathy, that smoke looks really obvious against the sky, Kathy. There's a lot of it. She was like, yeah. And as she says that, we've got a bit of a breeze, and that smoke starts to head off to Marmion Avenue and West Coast Highway. Now, visibility was a little bit harsh, obviously, with a lot of the smoke, but my ears, they were on. Kathy, did you hear that? I'm not sure. Well, is that a chopper, Kathy? I'm not sure. Well, in 5 seconds, you sure as hell is sure because it's coming right for us and it's hovering over our airspace. Now, if you take a bird's eye view, visibility was also impaired on the intersection of Marmion and West Coast Highway. 4 o'clock peak hour, school pickup? Yeah. What you've got is a funeral procession of strangers heading like Hansel and Gretel following the smoke trail directly to my house. Strangers milling past my house, neighbours coming out. I mean, it would have been a carnival if it wasn't so serious. And at this point, my middle child, 9 years of age, Fraser, comes running, big eyes. Mum, Mum! I go, what? He goes, there's all these strangers out the front and they're saying, are you all right? I said, excuse me, tell them Mum's just doing a bit of gardening, just doing just a little bit of a burn-off in a bush block. So I said to Kathy, bloody busybody, seriously, she's afternoon. Get a life. Darby, the eldest at 11, had also bolted and hit legs. He was up to the neighbour's house, 3 houses up the road. Coming past him was the other neighbour in his bike with the fire extinguisher rattling in his basket. Behind Darby was Charlotte. She was heading up to the same neighbour's house, but she was looking for second story. She's the last, she knows. She wanted a good viewing platform and she only had 2 questions. Number 1, will I be able to visit my mum in custody? And number 2, what's for dinner? Now, at this point, I'll be honest, I was losing a little bit of nerves. I said to Kathy, let's just dial down the situation a little bit. Let's see if we can lose this. She grabs a garden hose and I start putting it on. And, I'm focused. I'm drenched, I've got soot. I'm like in the middle of a situation. I look down and Kathy's on the phone. She says, oh, sorry, Soz, I've got to go. I go, what? She says, oh, sorry, it's a Woolworths order. The kids can't sign for the shopping because of the gin. I said, all right, emergency, equal proportion, yeah, you go on. So I am in a situation trying to calm it down. It's not working. There's a lot of steam, is what I would say. Now, time gets blurry, but I do remember Kathy's kind of face returning. She looked odd. Later, what I realised is she was following in the Osborne Park Fire Brigade, the fire truck, the fire ute, and the whole team of firemen. So I'm here. I hear something to my right. Hello? 2 firemen are in the neighbour's backyard looking straight at me. I'm not often lost for words. I was on that occasion, I'll admit. I squeaked. I didn't have much time to pause, though, because there was more noise to my left. As I turned, ladies, 10 hot firemen walking, holding a hose bigger than Kathy and I have ever seen, I've got to say. Now, at this point, I'm not sure if I collapsed or I fell off the ladder, but all I know is I lost a little bit of clarity. I didn't know where I was or who I was or even who was the father of my children. I was thinking January, February, March, and Happy New Year's, ladies. The fireman says, obviously, it looks like you can do us some help. And I kind of came to when they unleashed the power of the hose. And probably within a few seconds it was over. And there was this awkward silence. And me being the idiot I am to, help with that awkward silence, what do I say? Oh, so have you had a busy afternoon, boys? They say, we'd actually like you to come to a meeting on the back deck. I think, oh, gee, my luck's back in here. Hang on a second. Sure, my afternoon is cleared. I've got nothing on. My project's been abruptly halted. As I'm on the back deck, obviously there's a few agenda items, i.e. is it completely illegal to burn in the middle of suburbia, go figure, and that it's a big fine and that on this occasion they're going to waiver it. Just as the meeting is ending, my middle son, Fraser again, Mum, and he's trying to give me the phone. Dad's on the phone, he wants to know if you burnt down the house. I said, look, I'm in the middle of a meeting. I'm a little busy. I'll get to you. Sorry, sir. These kids nowadays, he gets a little bit muddled up with who his mum is, Unbeknownst to me, Marie from Mother's Group had popped in with her son Jack. I hadn't seen, I was rather busy on the ladder. And he had seen the situation before he left, seized the opportunity to take photos and put them straight onto social media. So, 5 minutes later, the fire truck leaves, the fire ute leaves, the neighbours go inside, the funeral procession of strangers and busy bodies leave. And it's just Kathy and I looking at my hero piece. Yep, it looks like a victim of a serious assault crime by Edward Scissorhands on a major bender. And you know what? You know the difference between a good and a bad haircut is 2 weeks? With a grass tree, it's a couple of 100 years. Give or take a couple of decades. So now, over the last 12 years since then, you'll often find in winter, Kathy and I on a veranda with a vino in hand. And if you eavesdrop us, you'll hear this. Oh, you know what? If we'd only chosen Sunday, there would have been so much less traffic. I said, I know. And you know what? If we'd had a cloudy day, they never would have been able to follow that smoke trail.